Okay, I think we are live. All right, if anybody is here, I see people popping in. Can somebody put a comment in that you can hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Is there anybody out there who can hear me? I'm hoping that you can. All right, we'll just give it a minute or two until some others start popping on here. We're going to be making some fabulous cards tonight, and I've got some new products to show you, and we're just going to have a little get together and do some crafting together tonight. I'm a little bit early. I had some issues before with my commenting in my audio, so I just wanted to get on and make sure I was on here and that you guys could hear me. I have my comments up, but I can't see anything, so I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. Hey Denise, okay, we have audio, that's great. Okay, we are going to get started. My name is Shel Anderson. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I blog at shelscreativecorner.blogspot.com, and I can be reached by email anywhere, anytime at andersonshel@gmail.com. We are going to have some fun here tonight, but before you can hear me, that's great, Denise. Before I get too far in, I wanted to share with you a gorgeous card that I received in the mail today from one of my girls. Pam created this fabulous sparkly shiny card. Isn't that wonderful? And the message inside really touched my heart. So thank you, Pam. Okay, now I wanted to talk to you guys about tips and tricks. You know how we all pick up these little tidbits of information? I want to encourage you to make a tip book. Basically, whenever you find a helpful tip, write it down in your book and keep it in your craft room. And I'm going to start a series so that I'm hoping that every time I do a Facebook Live, I'm going to have a tip to share with you. Hi Debbie, nice that you could join us. So the tip that I have for you tonight is, number one, make a tip book. Hi Pam. Number two, number two is to maximize a stamp's worth by combining it with other sets. And what that means is you can combine let's say this stamp set here. It's a beautiful stamp set, but you could combine this stamp set here with a different greeting set, a different background set, a different embossing folder. And by combining with other stamp sets or with other products, you are giving yourself so many more options and ways to use it, which increases the value of having that stamp set in your craft room. So that's tip number 1 for your tip book. All right, and if you guys have any tips that you want to share, just throw them right in the comments so that anybody who's watching can see your tips as well. Okay, my last video, I told you about the die set that I had coming from the new catalog, and it is the suit and tie dies. And here is this fabulous set. Hey Carol, glad you could make it. These are absolutely gorgeous dies, but they don't look like much in the case. And to be frank, when you see them in the catalog, they're not going to look like much. But when I get new dies, I cut them out. So here I cut them out in hot pink. I just use retired cardstock and cut them out and put them out here. And basically what I do is I say how much the dies were, that it's part of a bundle, how much the bundle is, and what page it's on. So in this set, you have this long stitch die and this little tiny short stitched die. Say that 3 times fast. Then you have the pocket, which is also stitched. You have the lapels for the suit or the tuxedo. Then you have the insert for the shirt collar, a small bow tie, a large bow tie, and this makes your ties 3D. These are actually embossed buttons. I don't know whether you can see the embossing on there. And then you have your regular tie, and then the knot to go on top that makes it 3D. And I will be honest, these are embossed. Maybe Denise can help me with this. I don't know what these are. I haven't figured it out yet. I'm sure I will, but they are embossed. And I think they may be for you to put buttonholes and then put the buttons on top of them, but I'm not sure that's what it is. But I just got this and basically cut it out. I haven't made anything with it, but I wanted to share it with you this way so that you girls could actually see what this is, because this doesn't look like much. But when you see it like this, then it kind of gives you the possibilities of what could be. Okay, while I'm in here, I'm going to show you 3 of the die sets that we're going to use tonight. We're going to use the North Pole dies, and this is from the Christmas, the current mini. And we're going to use the Pinewood dies, which is also in the current mini. And this one has these fabulous hills or snowbanks. And it has these 2 dies that can be standalone, or they can be layered with these ones over top. And then there's these 2 smaller trees, and then this one is just cuts the innards out. It doesn't have the die that cuts it out. But if you wanted to, you could use this die to cut this out. Hi Darlene, glad you can make it. And we're also going to be using the ornate frame dies. Now this was a carryover from last fall, and it carried over into the annual catalog, and with good reason. These are gorgeous, and you can layer these up so many different ways. So I just wanted to give you a visual of the die sets that we're going to be using. In case you missed it, Darlene, that's the suit and tie dies that I just received that are coming from the new January to June catalog. Okay, we're going to start off simple today because Shel had a hard day today. She's tired. She wants to start simple. And we're going to be doing 2 cards today. we are going to be using one stamp set from Celebration. This is a freebie with a $60 order, and it's a red rubber stamp. And I have paired it with the Borders Abound stamp set. This one is in the annual catalog, and basically, to be honest, I didn't buy this stamp set. I suppose you guys are getting lots of reflection. I never thought. I didn't buy this stamp set for the borders. I fell in love with the font in the greetings, so we're going to use a greeting from this one. All right. So, like I said, we're going to be pretty simple for this first card tonight, but it's something that we haven't done in a while. So I have a Whisper White card base that's standard, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. Then I have a 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Designer Series paper, and this is the In Good Taste, I think, yeah, that's the In Good Taste Designer Series paper. And basically what I did is I took this and I just eyeballed it. I just went in a little bit here and up a little bit further here, put it in my paper trimmer and trimmed it off. So what I want to do is I want to stamp on this DSP. So I am going to grab my stamp apparatus, if I can get in here. I've got so much stuff piled up over here that I wanted to show you guys. All right, and we are going to use this one and this one today. So I'm going to put this DSP, I'm going to take this mat out to start with. And I'm going to put this DSP in here. Like so. And what I want to do is I want to stamp that bouquet in that corner like so. And I'm going to make this kind of a monochromatic. I think I'm just going to stamp this in basic gray. Maybe I should start with smoky slate. See how smoky slate looks if it's dark enough? So we don't want it too dark. I'm not liking that at all. So we are going to step it up to the basic gray. Oh, that's going to be better. Yep. I'm happy with that. Alright, we're just going to take that and set it aside. And I am going to clean up my mess here. Alright, we'll take that stamp off, and I want to mirror what I did on the outside with my piece that I cut off on the inside. So I'm going to line this up. And bring in the smaller corner spray. And we're going to stamp this one for the inside. We have that piece of paper, so why throw it out? It's too pretty. Look at that. Like I said, this is going to be a real quiet, simple card. And this, we've done this before in a class, but we haven't done it in a long time. So I thought that it might be fun to revisit this. And I'm just going to close this ink pad for a minute. And while I'm putting this together, I want to share something with you guys that I had two really sweet things happen today. As most of you know, I've been off work because of COVID in my workplace. Not that I had it, thank heavens, but so I've been home for a week and a half at least, and when I went back to work yesterday, it was a day that I never want to relive, because basically none of my work got done because there was nobody there to do it. So you can imagine I had piles all over my desk and trying to figure things out. Anyway, I got home last night and I was exhausted and got up and went to work this morning and had a better day today, but I was still just beat and really was, quite frankly, kicking my butt because I said that I was going to do a Facebook Live tonight. I really didn't feel like it. But about 4 o'clock I opened my email and I got an email from a viewer who said some really, really sweet comments. And she said that my video, that she watches all my videos, and my video was the highlight of her week. And that she was glad that I was doing more videos now than just one a week. So yeah, that kind of put the icing on my cake and made me want to get my butt home and do the video. So yeah, I thought that was sweet. Alright, I think this is going to be just a simple best wishes card. As you can tell, I have not used this stamp set yet. So all the more reason to pull it out. And because I cut the front at an angle, I want to put my greeting at an angle as well. Now, hopefully, I do not mess up. As I'm sitting here looking at this card, this would be a beautiful sympathy card. I think I'm going to change my mind right on a live video. Just bear with me while I find a sympathy greeting. Yes, I'm making noise over here. Trying to find something. this will do. I'm going to pull out this one called Comfort and Hope. We've used this one before, but this one also has a greeting for the inside. Several of them. Know that I love and care about you. Sometimes there are no words. Sending you a paper hug. So I am going to Comfort and Hope and Sending You a Paper Hug. That could be used for many different. Yeah, Denise, it was. It kind of made my day. Alright, so that was me switching gears right in the middle of a video. But you know me, I fly by the seat of my pants, so it is what it is. That's all part of the creative process, I guess. Nice, I like that. Alright, we're just going to give this a minute. And then we are going to flip this open. And we are going to put a greeting on the inside. If I can get my magnets apart, that is. All right. And I'm going to put my greeting up at the top because I want to have lots of room for writing a message. All right. I'm scared. I see a blob there. I'm going to re-ink it. I don't want to ruin it now that I've got it this far. Perfect. There we go. All right, ladies, that's just about as difficult as this first card is going to get. Comfort and Hope, and I just stamped this big background stamp, and then Sending You a Paper Hug on the inside. That is card 1. And I'm going to take a minute to put these stamps back where they belong and clean up my mess before we start our second card. So, Borders Abound has not been used yet. My intentions were good. Maybe next time. All right, I am going to set this down here out of our way, and we will bring in our next basket of tricks. So I have chosen papers today from the Poinsettia Petal. Where is it? I will show you these gorgeous papers. And maybe I will, if I can find them. There we go. Poinsettia Place. Aren't those pretty? So that's the DSP that I chose for this next card. And as I said before, we are using the North Pole dies, the Pine Wood dies, and the Ornate Frame dies. And Stampin' blends I've chosen are Light and Dark Crumb Cake, Mossy Meadow, Dark Smoky Slate, and then I have two Stampin' Right markers, Poppy Parade and Garden Green. Okay, now we need our supplies. This card is a little smaller than a standard card, and I'll tell you why. I had this little piece of soft suede cardstock sitting in my bucket here, and I thought, what am I going to do with that? So I just said, I'm going to use it. So I made my card. Thank you, Carol, Darlene. I am going to just use it and adjust my papers accordingly. So you can just as easily make this card a standard card. You'll see when we're done. So I think the size that my card is, let me just dump all this stuff, is 7.5 by 5. And then I just folded that in half for my card base. And then 1/4 of an inch smaller is my DSP. And I have chosen this one, and I just folded it over. So we're going to do a corner fold card. And basically what I did is I just picked a point here, and I just made sure that this point was going right straight down. And once I got this point here, then I folded my crease. So the idea with this card is you're going to get to see both sides of the DSP. Then for the inside, I have a piece of Whisper White. So we might as well put that piece on the inside. Right? Oh my heavens, I almost put, did you see that? I almost put Stampin' Mist on my cardstock instead of glue. I told you I was tired, ladies. All right. We will put our Whisper White piece on the inside. Center that one up. And we're going to take our DSP. I really like this pine cone side, but it would be too busy for what I'm doing for the rest of the card. So I'm going to put my adhesive on here, and I'm going to put that on the front of the card, just centering it as best we can. Typically, if you get your 3 sides straight, it typically falls into place. Now this little flap here, I am going to put some glue on there because I don't want it flapping around in my way. Okay, so these are the little deer. I have one that I stamped and I colored with the crumb cake blends ahead of time. Yes, it is gorgeous, Kelly. The DSP is absolutely gorgeous. So I colored this guy with the crumb cake markers. And I just put a little bit of black on his hoofs. This guy, I cut out a crumb cake paper, and I just used the light crumb cake marker to just change the color, change him up a little bit, so his antlers were a little different color. And I don't know whether you can see, but the die actually puts little tiny cutouts and embossing in here, so he actually has some texture on his throat. And I stamped the greeting, "May the wonder of Christmas stay with you throughout the coming year." And then I cut it out with a die from those ornate, can't remember the name of them. Where are we? Ornate Layers dies, right here. This is the die cut that I used. And then I cut out the small tree and the large tree, and the overlay. And I cut them all out of garden green. That's one color that I don't use very much of, but I took the color right out of this paper. And then what I did is I took the dark mossy meadow marker, Stampin' Blend, and I went over the solid image. And do you see how they look modeled almost? They're not even. And that's what I was going for. I just kept layering on the mossy so that it was kind of different shades. And I'll tell you why I did that. You can kind of, like, it kind of bled through here, but you can still kind of see. If I layer this over this, it's not really impressive, right? But check this out. If I layer this over the background, it gives you a two-tone look, and that's what I was going for. So I'm going to put these trees together, and I'm just going to layer one on top of the other. And I'm just using Tombow, and I love that because it gives me a little bit of wiggle room, but it's also going to dry crystal clear. There, check that out. Isn't that cool? Love it. And I'm going to do the same thing with these dies. And these dies are so versatile. Even if you just had the dies, like this is a set, this is a die set that you can maximize its use by mixing it with other items. And that, like I said in my tip, you know, take your stamp sets and take your products and mix them with other products, which is exactly what we're doing tonight. Then I took this little, I don't know whether it's holly or whether it's mistletoe or what it is. Anyway, I wanted these leaves to be garden green. We do not have a garden green Stampin' Blend marker. Thank you, Denise. So I colored these with my Stampin' Right marker. Now, typically with Stampin' Right markers, when you color with them, you have to be so careful because you see the lines. But I find in little tiny small images, you can get away with using them, as you can see here. This is a small image, and basically I just 2 strokes and I did each leaf. And then I decided to use the Poppy Parade Stampin' Right marker and finish it off. We're going to use that as an embellishment, I think. So my idea is that I'm going to have this tree and this deer on the front of my card, but I think I'm going to go this way so that you can see the deer better. And then I'm going to have these 2 on the inside of my card just to pretty it up in there. I think that's what I'm going to do. Something to this effect, just so it's pretty in here. So let's glue down this tree on the inside. And I like that when you put the 2 layers together, it gives your tree some stability, like it's not flimsy because you've already got 2 layers on there. And I think I'm going to put part of him on a dimensional because I want his antlers to go over the trees. So we'll put some mini dimensionals on him. Let me just dry fit this again. So I can go up to here. Alrighty. Take my tool and get those paper backings off. And voila. There we have the inside. I'm going to leave the rest of that just as is. I don't want any greeting on the inside because I want to have lots of room to write. I know who this card is going to. And now for the outside. My thought was when I stamped this, when I cut this greeting out, there was a little bit of extra room down here. So I thought what I was going to do is I'm going to take this and combine this with this somehow. Something to this effect. And I'm going to put this up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on like so, and then I'm going to put this on after the fact with dimensionals. Trying to take up a little bit of that white space. I mean, I could have re-stamped it, but it was an opportunity to show you that you can embellish. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my snips and make this leaf a little shorter. I'm going to make it work for me. Like so. That's what I'm going to do. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing on the top part here. I'm going to put a dimensional. And on the bottom part, I am going to put my tombow. Now I just need to get that paper backing off. There we go. And we'll just pop him on like so. There we go. All right, so now we're down to our tree and our big deer. And I still say I want this tree on this side because I think the deer shows better on this side. Or I could have the tree and the deer. Ooh, that's not bad. What do you think? Should the deer go on the right or on the left? What's your opinion? Deer on the right, deer on the left. I think I like them going into the tree myself. Pam says put him on the left. So you like him walking away like this, Pam? Like this. Like I have it now. You don't think the tree's too busy up here in the holly? Deer on the right. That's what I think too. Yeah, I think the tree got too tangled in the mistletoe or holly or whatever that is. Alright, we'll get some glue on here, and I'm going to glue the tree down flat. So I'm going to give you guys a challenge tonight, and it's twofold. It's going to be A, use your scraps like I have here in this card and make a card that is not a standard size card. Make your card something else. Make it square, make it oval, make it round. Go nuts. But then you have to send it to me so I can post it so that everybody can see what you came up with. And you get to inspire others with your creation. How's that? You guys up for that challenge? Yeah, that's cool. I like that. And I can bling it up a little bit if I so desire. I can put a couple of little rhinestones here. But this card has been designed specifically for a man, so I don't think I want to bling it up. I kind of just like the trees and the deer and nature doing its thing. Okay, so there's card number 2. And here is card number 1. Nothing too difficult tonight because my heart couldn't stand it today, ladies. But I really did have a fun time with you ladies here tonight. And I will be back on Thursday night at 7 o'clock. And here again is more inspiration for you guys. This beautiful card that Pam gave me today. And so, yeah, I look forward to seeing all your cards that you make out of your scrap. And take my tip, make yourself a tip book. And every time I do a video, I'm going to give you a tip. And if you guys have any, post them in the comments so that everybody else can benefit from your knowledge. All right, I am going to say goodbye and go get some supper, and I will talk to you ladies soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for joining me.